Hello everyone, today I'll be doing a solo Grandmaster run with Titan. For my subclass, I'll be using Sunbreaker. Here are the mods and fragments I'll be using in this video. For my kinetic, I'll be using a stasis pulse rifle with Volvo weapon. Next, I'll be using the famous exotic, the Edge of Action. Next, I'll be using Tarantula Heavy. For my helmet, I'll be using Glaive Ammo Finder, Elemental Charge with Linear Fusion Ammo Finder. Next, I'll be using Anti-Barrier Pulse, Unstoppable Glaive, Shield Break Charge, and 10 Resilience. For my chest plate, I'll be using the Heart of MsBlitzVI with double arc damage resilience, higher energy fire, and 10 resilience. Next, I'll be using Ripping Wellmaker with the glaive scavenger and 10 resilience. Lastly, I'll be using Classy Restoration and the artifact mod to cause some DPS when staggering them. For this week, I decided to go for the Titan and mess around with the exotic, yes. The exotic from last season, the one where you had to grind for Wellspring, the Edge of Action. So they actually did some little mini upgrades with the perk, where if you have a full shield, as you can see this purple, or it could be white on yours, mine is purple. And if you fill it up and then kill a ad, you can make a little mini bubble. But then sometimes it doesn't work, I'll be really honest with you. Sometimes it doesn't work, so you will see me standing around for a couple seconds trying to make the perk to work. But overall, I would say it's decent. So as you guys notice, I am going to go all the way from the right side, take down a couple cabals. I took down the Minotaur, and then there's this Fallen that they're all distracted of, right? And I will say that once you clear out all the ads, then you can proceed to the next area. And of course, season rank 200, over 200. Isn't that just lovely? Once I cleared out all the ads, use my finisher, we can make our way. So I was thinking of using the exotic helmet, the Splendor helm. Yeah, about that. I wanted to use that and not use classy mod, but I realized that my base stat for that helmet is 46. Yes, I know, when I was farming it. I would say a long time ago. And the resilience, recovery, and discipline is lower than 10. So I couldn't use that helmet for a build like this, which it was very unfortunate. So probably I had to go to Lost Sector again and farm at least 60 stat. But anyway, for the exotic, the MsBlitzVI, it's a very unique exotic. You can improve your abilities when you use it. So even though you throw your hammer, you can get your hammer back very quickly. You can get your barricade very quickly. You can get your grenade quickly. And also another reason why I'm be spamming my grenades, well, my rally barricade, my bad, is so I can throw the fusion grenade. Now you can also use other grenades. The only reason why I'm using the fusion grenade is because it's the quickest cooldown in the Solar 3.0 options. Now I did try swarm grenades, I'm not gonna lie, it's super fun. But I feel like swarm grenades would be good for a different artifact mod. Instead of classy mod, it would be a different specific mod. That would be really nice, especially on champions. Then we had the thermite grenades as well, which that one is really good. And then we have the solar grenades, that is pretty decent as well, but the cooldown's it takes a bit longer to get it. Unless you have bomber, then yes, make it work. But that was my idea. By the way, I wanted to use bomber and then not use classy and then use the helmet. Like I said, didn't work out. And now you can actually go to the actual Nightfall, because basically you're just clearing ads until you go to this section. Alright, let's see what we can do over here. So So there's gonna be 3 snipers. Well, 3, my bad. There's 1 hiding. 3 snipers at front, and then there's sniper at the far right side. Now you can actually use your pulse rifle. You don't have to use this pulse rifle. You can use the other one. I think it's called New Purpose Stasis. So that one could actually work as well. I could be mistaken. I don't 100% remember of the other pulse rifle weapon. But yeah, there are many options of pulse rifles you can use to take down the barrier. Now once we take down or stagger the barrier champion, you can use Tarantula or StormChaser, by the way, to take down this champion. Now you're probably wondering, why am I using Tarantula? Well, actually this was my test run and I wanted to switch to StormChaser and I accidentally killed the boss. Oopsie. I didn't mean to, by the way. It just gave up on me. It just said, nah, Blitz, here's the loot. I didn't want the loot. The loot wanted me, okay, guys? I'll explain more what happened. It was kind of funny, I'll be honest with you. But as you notice over here, you must take down the Solar Cabal, which you saw. Make sure you use the box breeding for a Tarantula. Now, if you don't have StormChaser, you can use the Tarantula butt with box breathing. Box breathing really makes a huge difference dealing with the champions or mini bosses. So make sure you have that. Or if you don't have box breathing, then make sure you do have a StormChaser. Any StormChaser. But as I said, if you don't want to use StormChaser, then you can use Tarantula with box breathing. But if I had to be really honest, I would prefer to use StormChaser with Volva weapon. It would make the run a little bit more faster, to be honest. I was using Tarantula, as I said, just for a test run. It didn't wind up being a completion accidentally when the boss just didn't want to cooperate with me, which is okay. No big deal, right? So now I'm going to be dealing with this boss, well, mini, and it's one unstoppable champion. There is another one at the bottom, which you see it's shooting fire towards the minotaurs, and you can actually go and spam your glaive bubble to avoid the snipers shooting you. So once you do that, you can use your super, you can just take down the shield of the minotaurs. Once you do, you could just pop your rally barricade or tower. It depends what you're most comfortable. If you want to use the tower barricade or the rally. For me, I prefer rally because I want to reload the weapon faster with the glaive. Now the one thing I hate about the glaive, if I have to be very honest, is the reload is so slow. It's so slow. Like without barricade, the reload is horrible. It's horrendous compared to the hunter. And for the warlock, I don't remember. I don't even think it's that good. I think it's almost the same as the titan. I don't 100% remember. The reload for the titan is really bad. Now someone can argue and say, why don't you craft it to make it better for the reload speed? Well, I tried that last night and it didn't work. And that's the one thing I don't like about the exotic glaives. I wish there was more options of the customization that you can craft with the weapon, like they do with the legendary glaives. And I wish they could. I mean, even Osteo has something, you know, has more options than the glaives. And, you know, that just tells you something, you know. Like, they need more options to really craft the glaive because there really isn't so much at all. I mean, I tried to make the reload faster, but it didn't work. The only way I can make it work is having glaive loader on my arms, but I need the unstoppable glaive and pulse rifle, so that means I have to use a dungeon gauntlets with the plus artifact mod, well, artifact slot, to make it work. But anyway, we defeated 2 of the barrier champions. And now there's gonna be the machine gun. Yes, the one that we despise from inside Terminus. And also, remember Warden of Nothing? Yeah, remember that one. Yep, he's back. He is back. But you know what? His weakness is when you are on top of a platform, he is completely harmless as a fly. Very harmless. So you could just spare your pulse rifle, just make the artifact mod work with the solar explosion. It makes life easier. That's why I decided to use the fusion grenades. Now I was gonna use, like I said, a different grenade, but I need bomber, right? Bomber would make it really nice to spam grenades. But like I said, the exotic helmet, I have 46 stats, lower than 5 resilience, discipline, and recovery. And I gotta say, it's probably the worst stats exotic I ever had for a Titan. You know, so I had to like go to Lost Sector and farm a better one later on when I'm free from work. And it's such unfortunate because I really want to use that exotic, to be honest, especially on a dungeon, you know, but oh well, you know, things happen, nobody's perfect. Alright, so once we take down that unstoppable champion, finally we could proceed this area. So it says objective complete, fast forward. If you do have the fast forward objective and you're dealing with the barrier champion, you need to go back, right? Yes, I'm not even joking. You have to go back so it can reset the checkpoint. Mainly you're supposed to go deal with the barrier champions. It's supposed to be another objective, not fast or press forward. Box breathing with the arc AQ really makes a difference with Tarantula. But as I said before, if you have StormChaser with Volvo weapon, use it. If you don't have StormChaser, but you do have box breathing Tarantula, then use it. So make sure you go back so it can actually do the right thing and actually tell you the right objective. Because if you don't go back and you don't have to approach the drilling site, you will have to start all over again because it's gonna bug out. And it's not a fun experience, trust me. Now, I never had this problem. So for this type of thing, it's kind of new. But my clan always talk about how like there was a bug, objective was kind of buggy, and then they just go backwards and then it fixed the bug. Once you take down the snipers and there's these guys in the bottom, which I despise, they can one-shot you or two-shot you if you have the right mods. I think concussive dampener helps, but I don't 100% remember, to be honest. Alright, don't mind me guys, I'm just pushing off the cabals with the glaive. Let's see if I can push this guy. Come on, you can do it. Finally. Abusing glaive. It just makes life perfect. I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoy pushing off those cabals off to the pit. Or the death pit. Or the death zone. It's just so fun. Alright, so as you guys notice, when you do get the bubble, mini bubble, you get the void over shield. So you can get a void over shield on a different subclass. So let's just say you're not a void subclass, you're on stasis, solar, or arc. If you're using the glaive bubble, you will have the void over shield. So I took down the barrier champion from the right side, and then we're going to deal with another one. I always take down the barrier champions first and then unstoppable, because the barrier champions are distracted towards the cabal champions, unstoppable, from the left side. That way they won't two-shot me from their sniping. And that's what you want, to be honest. These snipers are horrendous. These snipers are very tricky because the crit spot's in the stomach. It's not the head, unfortunately, which is very annoying, especially using StormChaser. It could be a little bit of a problem. But once you take down the 2 barrier champions, then you just take down the unstoppable champion and then make your way towards the other section, which will be dealing with barrier champion, mini boss. Well, actually, no mini boss. My mistake for that. Oh, wait. No. I made a mistake again. 2 mini bosses. The one with the arc shields. And be aware of the ships. Now, the ships sometimes will try their best to shoot you, which, unfortunately, it never happens to me because I'm on a Titan, and for some reason, ships don't like Titans. I mean, seriously, what has Titans ever done to you, ship? They always get me every time I'm on Titan. So right now I'm trying to shoot the sniper. There are 2, right? There is also another one up ahead, but you know what? I thought it'd be a fun idea to use glaive, but I had to jump around because there were missiles shooting at me from the ship. So yeah, glaives, even from long distance, can do massive damage. Now the reason why I use the glaive is because, well, it's faster to kill the scions. 2, pulse rifle is just horrible at long distance. It is awful. Trust me, you don't want to use a pulse rifle shooting those scions. Just use the glaive, trust me. I will be saving a lot of your time. So now I'm going to be using my super. And then just throw hammers, and lots of hammers. Make sure you use the glaive bubble, right, to have higher resistance when the cabal shoot you. I think it's around 97%. I'm not 100% sure, but it does have high resilience when you use the glaive bubble, not the void bubble, the white bubble. It can also help you avoid from the cabal grenades, the arc grenades, the boss's attack, pretty much anything. Even helps you from the loosened hives from Lightblade. If they throw a grenade outside your bubble, the suppress grenade, it won't kill you. It'll suppress you, but it won't kill you, which is good for a GM for survivability. Now there is this Pacific Barrier champion, and I despise it so much. Using the pulse rifle can be a drag, to be honest, because it just takes a while to take down this boss. And I was trying my best to save a couple of ammo because I don't have linear scavenger. Linear scavenger is kind of bugged. I don't know why, so that's why I didn't use it, and I decided to use glaive instead. So just make sure you take down the boss, no distractions, take him down quickly, throw nades, spam, rally barricade, mainly just to get your nade back. And of course you can get the classy restoration as well, which I totally forgot when I was using this weapon. I decided to go from the opposite direction to deal with the last mini boss. Yes, the last one. Perfect. Fantastic. So I like to go behind over here next to the rock. And then I'm going to do over here is just deal with this cabal. Just pop the clay bubble and then just keep shooting towards the boss. Sometimes he does just like to stand there, and then sometimes he will move from the far right side. It's a really weird thing that this boss does, but if he does manage to try to escape, just try your best to throw a nade. And once you throw your nade, you should be able to defeat the mini boss. Now we can actually go to the other section. Now, the reason why I was shooting a couple of ads was I was kind of low and heavy, and I was thinking maybe I need to farm some heavy. So basically, when I say farm heavy, it means that I have to take down a couple of cabals to see if it will drop any heavy bricks, but it didn't work out. So I just said, you know what, I don't feel like clearing out all those cabals, so I'm just gonna ditch them and just make my way to the other section. Now there's this solar guy, and he does love to hide a lot. You can also use the barrels to break the shield as well. And I was getting a little bad luck over here because the right side saw me, which is not supposed to happen. He's not supposed to shoot me from that specific spot, but he did in this video, which is okay. Things happen. And now I'm going to be dealing with Unstoppable Champion. So for this one, I like to use the glaive bubble, not the void one, to protect myself from the solar attacks, from the arc attacks. And then I'm gonna wait and then stagger the boss again, make sure I take him down, and then hide a little bit. Because I really don't want him to go aggressive. He goes aggressive when he sees you. And I don't want him to push me off because that will basically make me go back to orbit, which is not what I want. And we got a heavy brick. Yay! Alright, so this one's very interesting. There's gonna be a barrier champion, the machine gun. Or I think it's gonna be the arc. I don't 100% remember. But you can actually just shoot the ground, and the barrier champion will slowly walk to your trap. You just keep throwing grenades, and then just keep doing DPS with your pulse rifle. Or if you have any heavy, you can use your linear fusion rifle. Once you take down the barrier champion, then you have to deal the cabals that do chase you around. Now, be very cautious of the two cabals. They can two-shot you or one-shot you. They're just like the cabals we see or the slicers we see from inside Terminus. So what I like to do over here is go on top of this little platform, and they can't even touch me. And of course they do a little jump animation. They will run away. If they do run away, just jump. For some reason, this irritates them when you jump. So basically, if you troll them, right, by jumping, they will come out from hiding and you could just do DPS. Like, isn't this just wonderful? You can troll them and do DPS at the same time. You can throw hammers at them. So yeah, it's pretty funny, by the way, that if you keep jumping, they're just gonna get irritated and try to kill you, but it won't happen because they can't reach you. Alright, so I'm gonna be activating the switch. Basically, there's gonna be Unstoppable Champion, but you can skip the champion. You can skip the champion and get platinum, by the way. So over here, I decided to just go on the upper platform. I really don't feel like dealing with the grenades and the Unstoppable Champion on my tail from left to right. So I'm gonna go for the easiest way possible and then just camp over here. Yes, I'm gonna camp over here until it goes 100%. Seriously, this is probably like the easiest, safest spot in the entire Nightfall. And yeah, isn't this fun? I found out this spot like a couple seasons ago, and oh yeah, I forgot I can go to this spot, right? And then I don't have to deal with any of the ads. So once it goes 100%, I'm just gonna slowly go all the way from here, look for the portal. And then I'm gonna use my glaive bubble just to protect myself if anything happens. And then just make my way to the next section. Pretty easy. Alright, so now I'm gonna be dealing with Unstoppable Champion. So this guy can sometimes be aggressive, so if you do pull back, he will just run back to his little safe spot. But for this footage, I wanted to take him down very quickly. And then there are snipers from the far right side. Now there are a couple of void cabals with the backpack, so make sure you be aware and be careful with them, since they can mess around with you if you're not careful. Now what I like to do right here is shoot the box, and then hopefully I'll take down the snipers. Now sometimes I get heavy bricks from them, but unfortunately I cannot pick up the heavy bricks, which is really bad. I was trying to figure out a way for the first run. I mean, this is my second run, and then I wanted to, you know, switch specific weapons. Not the glaive, but a different heavy. But like I said, accidentally killed the boss. Didn't mean to, by the way, but things happen. I was trying to see if I can push off these cabals to the edge. It didn't work out, by the way. It did work out my first run, and it was really, really funny. I'm not gonna lie. But it didn't work out. I was so sad. I really wanted to show off of how this glaive can push off cabals. You know, basically you can bully them to their death pit, right? And it's pretty funny, but couldn't do it, unfortunately. I was trying to, by the way, but didn't work out. So I decided to use my saber here, might as well. Just to deal with the champion. Yeah, the Unstoppable Champion was getting a little too close to me. That's why I backed away from the stun spot, by the way. Alright, to deal with this cabal. So what I was trying to do over here is I was trying to push him off the edge. Maybe what I should have done is push him while having a glaive bubble. But I totally forgot that you can do that. But at the same time, I didn't really fully test it out, so I was trying once again, trying to push up this guy, but like I said, it didn't work out. I was like, oh my god, this guy is so stubborn. So make sure you do take down this boss. You know, you can use a couple of heavy. For me, it was my mistake. So if he does pushes you, just quickly use your barricade to get restoration. You know, this is what happens when you're trying to push off this cabal. It was just so stubborn. And be careful with the backpacks, by the way, because the backpacks can one-shot you, which is not fun. Now, this is probably a nice area where we're going to deal with a lot of champions. So there's actually around 30 champions. There's the machine gun champion. And yes, I'm taking down this cabal with the shield because he is extremely annoying. He always messes up my DPS when I'm dealing with the champion. I accidentally put a barricade on a spot, which is not good. So my bad for that. So you can actually take down the barrier champion easily from this platform. I did try the bottom, but it didn't work out because the scions kept throwing void and I kept flying up, and then it led to my death from the drills. So just make sure you go on the top platform and then just try your best to take down the barrier champion. Yeah, I kind of missed because that drill was in the way, so there goes a waste of my ammo. But to be honest, this is the safest spot. Like, for the safest spot, it's always the top right platform. The bottom one isn't so safe. So I would just go for the top than this one, where from this spot. This spot where I'm standing, it's not really safe. I tried it. It's not really good. So definitely just go to top. Now I'm gonna be dealing with more barrier champions. So I'm gonna wait for the drill to pass by. Hello. I'm gonna go up here and go to the edge of the platform. Well, that was close. I almost died from the drill. My bad for that. So there are gonna be 2 of the barrier champions. Try to focus on the barrier champions and the dogs. The dogs will actually help you do some DPS dealing with the champion. So just try your best to take down the first barrier champion. Now these guys always huddle and hug together just like the other Nightfalls. So make sure you spam classy restoration and then just deal with these champions quickly. DPS them as much as you can. Try your best not to use too much heavy because you do need heavy for the boss. That's the reason why this run was a little slow, because I was trying to save heavy and I didn't want to use it at all because I need it for the boss fight. When it's just 1 barrier champion, they're easy to deal with. When it's 2, it can be a little frustrating because sometimes they protect each other and then you're trying to take down the first barrier champion, then the second one gets in front and it protects it, and then you're trying to kill the first one but it doesn't work out. So luckily I got a couple of heavy bricks. I think it was 2. I'm not 100% sure, but 15 is good enough. But if I was using StormChaser, it would have been better. Alright, so now I'm going to be going to the boss fight. I actually had to put my sound 10. I felt like the sound was too low. And it was, I was right. You know, I accidentally forgot to put sound 10. It was sound 5, you know. Alright, so what I'm going to do over here is deal with the 3 of the harpies. Once we do take down this gold bar harpy, now we can actually deal with the boss. Now there are many ways to do DPS at the boss. Alright, there's far left, from the front, or this spot, anywhere, but for me I decided to go to this specific spot to deal with the boss. He will teleport, and I was just waiting for box breathing just to do some extra DPS. That's the reason why I was taking my time here, mainly trying to get 39k instead of 30k. So yeah, just be very careful with this boss. Once I do enough DPS, now we can actually go from this section. Now, funny story, this is actually the most frustrating phase where things can go your way if you have enough heavy and enough strong DPS, or it's not gonna go your way. So if you notice, the boss likes to shoot solar in the ground, and the solar can one-shot you, so you have to make sure you're standing on platforms. Now, because I didn't have enough heavy to do DPS at the boss, I actually had to use my super. That's the reason why I didn't use my super on the first phase, because just in case things like this can happen. And if you guys notice, this boss brought up the minions and they're surrounding me, so make sure you take down a couple of goblins and shoot the boss at the same time. So yeah, I accidentally popped the glaive bubble because I didn't think that the boss would teleport, so my bad for that. But yeah, if things are going bad, then just pop the void bubble for the glaive. But other than that, once you go to the third phase, then it's a bit easier. So the boss will move around, just make sure you do DPS at the boss when it's walking around. He will shoot this arc that will do DPS and blind you at the same time, but you can easily hear the sound of when he's gonna use it. So when he does use it, just jump or just move away from that spot. So he always aim of the previous spot you were standing, so always just move to the right or the back when he's shooting his arc attack. Well, his arc charge, basically, not arc attack, because basically right now he's shooting a couple of arc. So I am taking my time doing DPS at the boss. So I'm just waiting for the boss to spawn the goblins, and he finally did. So when he spawns the goblins, the safest spot is in this section. You can just spam glaive, grenades, and of course I was using the glaive bubble. I mean, what a perfect time to use a glaive bubble or the void bubble to deal with the goblins. I mean, you have overshield. These harpies are shooting at you. It just makes life easier with the glaive. As I said, the glaive is good. I mean, I just wish I could do more customization, you know, crafting, having to reload a bit better instead of spamming my barricade, you know. What I was doing over here is I was trying to see if I can take down this harpy without arc, but it didn't work out. He wasn't cooperating with me, so I actually had to go and grab a couple of heavy. I think there was heavy around here. I don't 100% remember. I remember I was having a hard time with this harpy. I was trying to do some DPS, breaking the shield, but it didn't work out. I got frustrated, so I just went to grab some heavy so I can actually deal with this boss. Now the range for the glaive isn't the best. I mean, if I had to choose my void glaive and the titan glaive, I would say my void glaive, the enigma, is better on range than the one I'm using. I don't know why. It's just something about the legendary glaive. It's just really nice for long range DPS. But for the void one, for the titan one, it isn't so much. It's really hard to control it a bit. I don't know why. It's weird. I'm not entirely sure. But you can see that the harpy regained his shield, overshield, health. And I was getting fed up, so I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna grab the heavy because he's taking too long. So once I grab a couple of heavy, then I use arc, take down this harpy, and then finally I can actually deal with the boss. Now make sure you do clear down a couple of goblins because they will push you. So as I said before, I did took my sweet time. So once I clear down all the goblins, then just do enough DPS until he moves. So right now I'm just trying to prep. And at the same time, I saw heavy. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get some heavy and then go back to my safe zone. But now I'm going to do some DPS at the boss until he moves. And until we get a couple of ads. For the next, hopefully we'll get the next wave of ads. So just do as much DPS as you can until he moves. Then stop doing DPS and then focus on the goblins and the harpies. So I'm going to do a time skip. Alright, so once he starts to move, like this, he just walks around across. Now he will shoot his arc charge, so make sure you jump. And then this is the perfect time to use your glaive bubble. Now, honestly, I would be aware of the gold goblin. There is a gold goblin from the far left side, and he will walk to the platform, to the boss area. So this guy here, make sure you take down this goblin. He is basically the only biggest threat throughout this entire boss fight. It's not even the boss, it's that specific goblin. For some reason, that goblin can do massive DPS, massive damage. It can melt you. Now, let me just tell you, when we didn't have the high resilience, that goblin actually can one-shot you. Now, with the high resilience, I would say 2-shot you, or 3-shot you if you're lucky. And it's pretty hilarious that the little tiny little goblin with the gold health can actually do massive DPS in the boss, which is pretty funny. But I'm serious. I'm very serious. Like, make sure you take down the goblin, the one with the gold health. And once you do, you're all set. You know, all you have to do over here is just clear all the goblins that are close to the boss. And then once you do, you can do DPS with the heavy, and that's basically what you do. You can also ignore the boss, and you can manipulate the boss. You can manipulate the boss so the arc charge won't hit you, which I will show very soon of what I'm talking about. So first things first, clear down all the goblins much you can. Abuse classy mods, so make sure you clear them down. Make sure you use your glaive, and if you want to, use your glaive bubble. Spam glaive bubble. Well, not too much, because you actually do need it in case something goes wrong with the boss. So yeah, make sure you take down the goblins. So I'm gonna do mini time skip. Alright, so now I'm gonna be moving the boss, just to make sure he doesn't shoot arc at me. So once I make him move in a specific spot so I can actually do some DPS, now this boss is completely harmless as a fly. Now be aware that he can still shoot arc, not arc charge, but arc. So if you really place him in the right spot, you can actually spam your StormChaser at the head and then just keep doing DPS. So now I'm just gonna be saving my heavy because I don't have enough heavy unless I was using StormChaser. You know, I could have done better. Now he did move a little bit, unfortunately. I didn't want him to do that, but you know what, the good thing about this is he can't really touch you with the arc charge, and that's what really matters the most than the arc attack, because the arc charge can blind you and also hurt you. You know, it can do massive damage on you, even with double arc resilience and 10 resilience. It can be a problem. That's why I always prefer to manipulate the boss and make sure that his arc charge doesn't touch me. So yeah, I was just double checking, and then I was thinking, this was my test run, by the way. I wanted to switch to a different weapon, but you can see that you can get box breathing, then you can do some DPS, and then you will have to hit the stomach to get the critical precision shot. So because I was trying to not kill the boss, right, I was moving around. You know, there's gonna be these frantics of spawn. You know, I was trying to not kill the boss, but I accidentally did. You know, I backed away a little bit. I accidentally touched the electric pole, and I wasn't trying to kill him. You know, I was like, okay, let me go over here. Everything should be good. You know, nothing bad will happen. And then the boss dies. Accidentally killed the boss. I didn't mean to, by the way. The boss was like, you know what, Blitz, take the loot. I can't take it anymore. I'm like, no, but I want to do the solo run on my Hunter Warlock. Nah, Blitz, I'm fed up with you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.